All right, y'all. This has been a long time coming. You already know. We got the queen here. She's a young artist from Cincinnati. Her latest album is coming out Friday. Give a big shout out to the god, the legend, Chloe Hotline. Introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me first and foremost. And yeah, this is Chloe Hotline, aka Big Chloe, aka one of the greatest from Ohio ever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. So Ohio. How long have you been living there?
my whole life. My whole life I've been living in Ohio. It's pretty much been the same thing, just being in the same environment. It's just that you get older and you notice more things as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when you're living in like a metropolis type area, but it's not like on a bigger stature. Like it's a metropolis, but it's not in Chicago or in Atlanta. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of little stuff you notice, like how police treat you and stuff, and like how certain political figures like be lying just to get in the city hall. It's wild shit. Like
I feel you. So you just like being around that type of shit for your whole life, and it's just shaped you, I guess, in ways that you can't. I mean, like, do you talk about that in your music or in any of your art?
So, NSTYNCT, the whole setting for the album is Cincinnati. Like that's like NSTYNCT sounds like literally being in Cincinnati. Like it sounds like you're there for like a week and you're just going through like the different aspects of it. Like whether it be climate change, like some days it'll be 30 degrees and the next day it might be 70. And that's something I noticed as I got older. Like climate change has been going crazy over here. So I have a song like Tallulah where it sounds like it's snowing. It sounds enchanting, like Frozen, like a Disney movie or some shit. And then I'll have a song like Lost in the Sun. It sounds like a beach, like a nice day and shit, like riding like a city bike downtown. And then I'll have a song like Michigan Michigan is, even though that song is called Michigan, that sounds like driving in Cincinnati at nighttime. Like that's what that is literally the feeling of it. Like all the times I've been in the back of my parents' car, we're just like driving at night, you know, either coming from somewhere or going somewhere. That's always what's playing in my head. It has like a real like driving energy to it.
Got you. Okay. So one thing I want you to tell the people is how old are you? Just like I know I said it kind of in the intro, but I need you to emphasize on this because I feel like I'm talking to somebody a bit more older and wiser.
All right, I'm 18, but I've been making music for a really, 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 really long time. Like,
specify that time.
I've been making music since I was 6 years old. I recorded my first song in 2009. Like, just
so this is where the rabbit hole starts. Right. So I've known Chloe for at least 3 years now because you would always be popping up. And one of our friend Eric, the young guy, shout out to young nasty shot. You would always pop up in these fucking like live streams and be telling like, oh yeah, I'm 15 years old, but I know about blah 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 and all this type of shit. So you are literally made in the URL.
Yeah, like
genuinely grown up on the internet. 6 years old, you're making your first song. So let's talk about your introduction to the internet and all of that.
All right, so my introduction to the internet all starts with my dad. You know, he would always have a computer because of him. Like he's like manager of the computer center at his job. So we would always have computers, like whether it be like a little fixer-upper one, or once we got older, it was like a nicer home desktop that we could do homework on. But literally, as early as I can remember, I was downloading music from LimeWire specifically. LimeWire was like the first thing when I was like 4 or 5, and I hear my sisters playing a song in their room. Then I'd go like look it up on LimeWire, like, oh shit, Fall Out Boy, da da da, and then I'd download it and be listening to it. So it all starts with It all starts with that. Like that's literally the if my dad didn't have like that type of job, I most definitely would not be right here right now. Like
that's cool as fuck.
It all leads back to that.
I find that to be so crazy because you were like 6 on LimeWire. Like that's like because I feel like most kids your age didn't really start getting the internet until they were probably around like at least 10 or 12.
Yeah, like most, like I remember specifically, people started paying attention to music right around the time Views and Pablo came out. Because when I was in 7th grade, that's when kids were starting to get like hype over these projects and albums. And that's when, of course, the streaming era started. So I'd be in class with this kid Leland, like, oh, what do you think it's gonna be called? Pablo, Swish, da 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 da. And we just be.
And wait. What grade were you in when that was happening?
7th grade. We'd be 12 and 13, just chopping up about Kanye, like, oh, you like 4 or 5 seconds, like.
Technical difficulties, you all. It's fine. He'll be back. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3. See, he's back.
But yeah, like 7th grade, I would be in study hall, and we would be listening to like Pablo and shit, and like that's around the time like Lil Yachty was hot, and like right before the Double XL 2016 shit. And I was super early on Uzi too. Like I was super duper early on Uzi. Like I heard Uzi through a Lil B song, a Lil B and Reese Flair song.
Ooh, so, yeah. Okay, I got you.
So yeah, I was one of the first 100 people to download Love Is Rage off that piff. So that goes to show like I've really been paying attention to music my whole life. Like
real. The real is real. I love that. So out of have you ever gotten like a warning from your internet provider?
Yeah, I just got one. crazy story. Like never. Like I've been going literally a decade plus without no notice. And then until like a couple weeks ago, like I got a letter in the mail with everything that I got, and I was like, everything I had on my computer, I was like, fuck. Yeah. I was raw dogging it though, no VPN. I was raw dogging it though.
Raw dogging. Yeah, man. it's a lifestyle, you know, like. But I feel like people that have been on the internet so damn long, it's like, I don't know. I guess like when condoms were introduced, the generation before were probably like, them shits ain't working. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just be hopping in no VPN. Like that shit, man.
You gotta pay like monthly for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I just decided I asked somebody to get what I want for me. I don't got NordVPN money right now. Hopefully this album makes me some NordVPN money though.
Yeah, yo. So let's talk more about that. So in terms of the influences on this album, we're not going to talk about that because that shit's fucking boring. I want to think about where you were mentally in terms of like what are you trying to prove with this record, or are you trying to prove anything?
I'm trying to show people with this record. I'm trying to show people my value and my worth. Like I feel like a lot of people. Like they know of Chloe Hotline, they know the name, like they have since 2018, but they don't have really something that sticks with them. And like I feel like I didn't even get good at music until I started working on this project until like summer of this year. Like a lot of people weren't checking for me, but the more I utilized social media, I actually kind of like became almost like an underground like darling within the pandemic. Like the pandemic was one I feel like I'm one of the only people with pandemic like that helped my career because people were in the house and like, oh, what's this? And then Bandcamp Fridays started happening, and then yeah, like I'm trying to show people like I'm trying to show people like I have the potential to be a creative mastermind. Just trust my ideas. Just listen to the music. Listen to a sequence first. I always tell people, listen to the album all the way through first. It sounds really good. Like I'm so fucking proud of myself. Like I'm really happy with this project. It feels like this is the one I've been crafting my whole life. Like,
you know, put everything into it.
Like I have the outro track. I wrote the hook for that when I was 13. That song sucks. It's on my old Bandcamp. That song sucks. But I wrote that hook when I was 13, and I reused it now just because it was so good. On Michigan, I wrote that song when I was 15, I think. Yeah, I did the demo. Mm-hmm. I did the demo of Michigan over a Lady Gaga instrumental when I was 15. I always had that. I left my heart in Michigan. Like I always had that. And then this past summer, originally the beat for Michigan, I was gonna make a song in one day and drop it, but I was like, no, like I couldn't think of anything to record over the beat I just made, so I put out another song. I set that aside. Then I was like, oh, I started listening to it. I started riffing over it, and I was like, okay, this is the idea I want over this beat now. Like, now's the time for this. And like I submitted like Michigan to like live streams, and like you know, people talk about the song like, oh, this sounds like old Travis Scott, or this sounds like a Kanye and Travis song without Kanye and Travis. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, it was in the right direction type shit. Like, hell yeah, nah, like it's cool because I mean, like even from that little from your you know statement right there, like I trust you. I trust your ideas. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're talking right now. I fuck with Chloe Hotline. I know that you can be that person. Like, and I want you to just be able at the end of, I guess, for people at the end of this interview to understand it also. You know what I mean? Like you're a genius. You be thinking this shit, bro. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just ready for people to finally get to see all of this in a put together, you know, sequence project.
Like the era I came up. Like the internet, like prime for me, my favorite like times was like the 2012 to like 2015 time. So that's when I was like soaking up the most. Like I'm really big on Tyler, really big on Kanye, really big on early Travis Scott, even Travis Scott now. Like, you know, these are more Kanye and Tyler. Though Kanye and Tyler are like the two people who I like inspire to be. Like I'm just thinking like what I want to be like in 20 years. And I want to have my own shoes. I want to have my own fucking factory for my cut and sew shit. Like I want everything that they have. And they're this is the first generation, this is the first generation where we have like proof that it's possible that you could be a billionaire, you know, like who, like the millennials, like what rapper from the early 2000s was also like a mogul and then went on to Jay-Z.
Wasn't like that. They were like Travis, Kanye was the prototype. Travis was 1.0. And now we're in that stage. Now we've seen basically 2 iterations of this. Like, you know, like a complete brand, like turning yourself into a brand and being like a fucking millionaire off of that shit, selling all of your ideas. Like that shit is very interesting. And I think, yeah, you're definitely one of those people. You're on that archetype.
That's the point I want to get to, because like I have music right now is my number one, but I'm also very into like clothes and streetwear and the process of making all that shit. I'm even inspired by your brand, Sugar. Like I really like everything culture. I want to be a part of some way. I want to start a foundation. I want my own ginger ale, Gemstone ginger ale. Is comes out of it. That's just like counterfeit industries. Like this is all. I'm setting myself up already when I'm in a baby stage of my career. I'm setting myself up so I can have 3-4, ways of income. Like I'm really thinking about the future. If music goes down, I can start being being a designer type or being a stylist. If that doesn't work out, I'll go work in like a factory and figure out how like pop and sodas and shit and how beer and all that is actually made from the start. Like I can go any way with it.
So what are like, are those like what are some of the other ways? I know that those aren't the only ways. What are some other avenues that you see Chloe Hotline going down? I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of cartoons. I'm a big fan of Adult Swim. Some type of animated project on Adult Swim would be nice. That's like the cliche thing to say for like people of our generation. But no, I have such a deep love. Adult Swim through the singles program has put me on so much music as a kid, and the impact that the cartoons have. Like I was literally like a baby in there with my older siblings watching Aqua Teen or whatever the fuck. Like Adult Swim has been
like with me throughout my whole life. So I have that connection to that brand that I have to like a Kanye or a Tyler. Like I grew up with this brand. Like I've seen it go in different eras. I know what they're capable of. I know their past. I know their present. I have an idea for their future. I just need to know how to get that idea to them. You know, like I really think a lot. I think about this stuff a lot.
Yeah. Would you say that you're a dreamy person? You like worlds, creating them?
Yeah, most definitely. I tried to build. So with my next 3 projects, with my next 2, because NSTYNCT and 2 more coming out this year, but I'm trying to build a little world. Like NSTYNCT, if you pay attention to the album, if you listen to it from cover to cover, you will know that there's some type of story going on. It's buried. But if you love music, you will know that there's a story. And then my next project, those projects are going to be more condensed, but the quality of music is going to be even higher than NSTYNCT. So I'm going to take my time, work on maybe like 2 4-track projects or 2 5-track projects, and really just hunker down and focus on the sound for both of those projects. Like I really have a whole vision for how I want things to go.
And you're gonna see that shit out. For real.
Definitely.
Because all this is manifesting right now. You know what I mean? Like this is a manifestation hour. Get everything off. You know what I mean? Like what else you thinking about? You know what I mean?
Like and the thing is, like a lot of people are telling me like, you should focus on one thing at one thing at once. And I'm like, but multitasking is usually how stuff gets done. So while I'm promoting my music, I'll show people, hey, this is a sample. This is a sample from my brand. This is a shirt. This is a shirt. See what they're thinking about it. I've been doing that a lot recently, with Counterfeit Industries, which is my brand, and like I've been learning a lot. Like there's been a lot of trial and error getting that shit. A lot of going through different screen printing people. It's been a strenuous process, but I know for a fact, while I have that on the back burner and my name rises as a musician, I could always bring that along and be like, hey, this is my shit too. So I'm good. I'm a creative genius with the music. Well, watch how I do this. Watch how I make these clothes. And I think I was getting ahead of myself too much in the beginning because I wanted to start off with really like intricate, like cut and sew pieces. But 1, I didn't have the money for that. And 2, I'm in Ohio. There's not really too many people I could go and get some cut and sew shit. So I'm like, okay. That's it. That's actually how I ended up. How me and my best friend Malik. That's actually how we ended up losing money in the beginning because we were trying to do too much at the beginning. Like we were trying to make fucking sweatsuits and bags and book bags. We were going great ideas, but wrong timing completely.
You was trying to go off white, but you needed to be Pyrex first. Like you needed to Nah, it happens with everybody. I mean, like we was on the same bullshit. Like trying to have everything so perfect, intricate, in the right hoodie. That shit's not real, man.
So now, like I've just been doing like research on brands that I grew up liking, but I could never afford, like the Bapes of the world and Stray Rats. I actually do have a Stray Rat shirt now, which is manifestation, because when I was like 11 years old, I saw Tyler wearing it and I was like, I need this right now. So
yeah. So you talk about Tyler a lot. So would you say between him and Kanye, like which one is the one that you model, I guess, your craft after the most?
Okay.
Because I already know the answer. I know the answer already, but I want to know your answer.
My craft most definitely is more Kanye. Like it's there in the music. Like you would know. But when it comes to like just other things, like certain aesthetics and I love Tyler's music too. I love Tyler's music a lot. But when it comes to aesthetics and overall just building a world, and like he went from Our Future, then he went to golf, and then like he had a music career too, and then he had shows on TV. Like I want to be like Tyler in that aspect, where he like branding wise, like he's had two TV shows, 2 successful clothing brands. He sold Our Future, I guess. I don't think he really designs. He doesn't design that stuff at all anymore.
They haven't designed Our Future since OF Tape Volume 2. That was the last time he was designing Our Future.
So,
but still, he had that brand, sold it, and then he got his new brand. He basically Nigo'd. He typed Nigo'd, but at like 24, which is like crazy.
And I just found out recently that Nigo sold Baber in 09. I was like, oh wow, that's. I was like, wow. So I'm thinking all these looking kind of.
Yeah, nah, it's interesting though, because it's like a lot of people when they make a brand, it ends up like that. Certain people hold on to their brand, they stay with their brand, but a lot of other people they sell and just start something new. Like, and I find that to be really interesting. Like when it comes to fashion, and I think that it reflects in music a lot. Like, I don't know, like Kanye, like every time he put out an album, like this was something completely different than the last time. Like he left us that, like, like, and I think that that's what I see that in your work. You're trying to every time just bring it to another level where it's like there are drastic differences between my last project and my new one.
Like I can go super pop, I can go R&B, I can go experimental, I could go punk, I could go industrial. Like I can make a folk album if I wanted to, and it'd still be hard. Like,
yeah,
I really have that passion for music. I really have that passion for art in general. Like, a lot of people, especially in my age range, they're just fooling around with music, or they don't really have everything, or they do have it all, and they're signed really early on in the label, fixing up their image on it. But this is 100% me. When you see the cover art, when you see the videos, when you wonder who mixed, master, produced it, who's getting the merch together, who is getting CDs to sell, like for merch, that is 100% me. Like music, this art is literally like my everything. Like, and sometimes I have a break from that though. Like sometimes I'll just sit back, watch a movie. Sometimes I like play Mario Kart on the Dolphin emulator. Like sometimes I have time to fall back, but music. If I can't make a song, if I don't have the creativity to make a song, I'm gonna make a beat. Like I'm always gonna be doing something involved in music.
That's real. I like that. That's a very productive mind state. I feel like a lot of people, they couldn't make the song, they may just go do something else. And you're like, oh no, I'm still gonna try to make this beat though. Like, you got a Kobe type mind mentality in this motherfucker. Like, hell yeah. So I like to ask people this question. So what was your first gamer tag?
What was my first gamer tag? Damn.
Or the username that you can remember.
Oh, the first. Okay, so growing up, I didn't really have no games like that. We ended up getting like an old white Xbox 360 in like 2013, and you have internet on it. But
I feel you.
My first Twitter handle was, oh my god, I don't even know what to say. My first Twitter handle was @KottyKid. I made it in 2010. That's my old rap name. If y'all want to go hear like some 9-year-old horrible raps, just like YouTube Kotty Kid with 2 D's. This shit was awful. It was so corny. Like cause that was that Big Sean like swag era. And I was like trying to make music like that.
The hashtag really
yeah.
That's crazy. It's funny though, because like as a musician, I find that you're very interesting because of like what you grew up on. Like a lot, like the kids your age didn't listen to that type of shit growing up. Like they weren't like getting exposed to it that much or downloading music all the time. Like you kind of grew up in our generation, low key, musically.
All my older siblings are like my oldest sister, she's 27. My second youngest sister, she's 23, almost 24, and then my youngest sister is 20, and my brother, he is 19. So I was pretty much listening to all the shit my older sisters listen to, like Itty Bitty Piggy, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, PJ, Bow Wow, and Omarion, Face Off, like just stuff like that, like
Face Off,
just literally like soaking it all up. And like I remember when Bedrock came out, and I accidentally got the leaked version with Omarion on the hook, and I was on my MP3 player like, this isn't Lloyd.
Yo, I think that's something that like a lot of people don't get. Is like downloading something and it's not what it is. Like you would download a track and it'll be different, or like I know like for a while when I was listening to 808s, I guess I had the leaked version. Like I never heard the finished RoboCop until like 2013 maybe. Like because it was just the leak shit, like, and that was just always in my iTunes. Like I didn't know no better when I was a kid. Like, but I don't know, going on LimeWire, downloading this song and it's Soulja Boy, you know, like all that type of crazy shit. But I fuck with that though. Kid. Bro, that's a bro. Kinda Kid coming on the track, crazy. Like Kinda Kid different. Oh shit. Okay. You're at McDonald's right now. What's the number one meal you're getting?
Oh, McDonald's?
Yeah. Shit. I need to know your McDonald's order.
Well, I haven't eaten meat since 2018.
Real.
So McDonald's. Okay, so McDonald's. If I'm at Malik's crib and we having a studio session, everybody in there smoking whatever, and he on DoorDash and he like, hey, what you want? I'm on McDonald's. What you want? I'm gonna get a McFlurry, an Oreo McFlurry, a medium fry.
Okay.
And 2 chocolate chip cookies, like snack foods. Like
questioning one thing: are you putting the fry in the McFlurry?
I think that's kind of a Wendy's thing. Like
it is. I'm just asking. I don't want to see what the mental state that you're in right now.
I'll do that in Wendy's. Crazy thing about Wendy's is actually founded in Ohio. You know, so
really?
It's hella Wendy's. It's hella Wendy's.
What's it? I got like the franchise the flagship Wendy's in Cincinnati.
Nah, in Columbus. Columbus is like an hour and a half away. Like that's where that shit was started at. Mm-hmm. So Cincinnati is like in the corner of Ohio, like in the southwest corner. So by Indiana. What'd you say?
So what state is that bordering? Like when you're in that corner?
Indiana and Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it'd be like rednecks out here and shit. It's hilarious.
So like in Cincinnati, who was like, I guess growing up, who was the most influential rapper out there? Like who was like really blowing Cincinnati up?
Okay, so there's a few. I will say Lantana, he had this song called All Hustle No Luck, and he got Bun B and Yo Gotti on the remix. That was like a big moment in the city because they would always play that on the radio. And then Lambs is somebody who took the different route and took the more SoundCloud route, and he had songs with Key, he had songs with Uzi, he had songs with Cardi. Still doing this thing now. Actually has a song with Comethazine, but I think they have some type of issue, and that song might not be coming out. During the drill era, like it's really interesting. Like during the drill era in Cincinnati, you had all these kids just coming out like dressed like the most colorful shit, making like auto-tune like trap shit. It was really cool. Like that was a really, really nice era to see. Like, oh, this kid's doing this shit, getting like 1 million views. I could do this shit too. I just gotta hop on and do auto-tune. Like, so somebody from that era that's still making music. Ron, he has a song with Blady also, which is really neat and nobody knows that. And then personally, when it comes to me personally, the rapper who really like he was the first rapper to ever fuck with me in Cincinnati. Also like the freshest man I know, the best. This dude literally is like the most best dressed person I know. Suicide Rascal. Like I met him at a concert. I met him at a show when I was 15, And he was just so nice. He's like, oh yeah, like y'all here for the show, whatever. And I was like, yeah. And I'm talking to Malik, like, yeah, I'm be performing this bitch in a year. Not even 3 months later, I'm 16, and me and him are on the same show. But I'm performing like at 9, and he's performing at like 12:30, so I have to leave.
I'm so dead. But still, you said it and it happened.
Yeah,
a station, man, for real.
He just looks out for me like hella. Like we have moved together. He's about to move. He's about to move away though to Portland. You know, because Cincinnati, it's not really that many opportunities for young adult at all. And they're trying to gentrify this shit and turn it into Brooklyn. But it's hectic out here sometimes. It's hectic out here sometimes.
The Midwest. Well, is that Midwest? Is that considered? It's just still East Coast. It's still East Coast.
It's, you know, like here's how I feel about the whole Midwest thing. I feel like that's an outdated term, and Christopher Columbus, dumbass, came up with that. But Cincinnati, honestly, it's like Middle East. I say that it's more Middle East. You gotta think about it. I mean, we are 3 hours away from Chicago, 3 hours away from Detroit, 6 hours away from Atlanta, 6 from Baltimore. So it's like there's a lot of influence coming.
Okay. That's cool. I mean, who are like the biggest people out of Cincinnati?
The Isley Brothers,
Nice.
Bootsy Collins.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, Isley Brothers, Bootsy Collins, Chloe Hotline.
Shit. High Tech, he produced with Talib Kweli. Pink Seafood is from Cincinnati also.
Okay, cool. Okay. Word. That's like, I don't know. I like how your sound, like your sound sounds just like, I don't know. I can't place a fucking, I guess, dot on it. So I like to know about like where you're from, because I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck was going on for your music to sound this, I guess, unique.
Honestly, I'm okay. So my music sounds the way it does because like I used to dig for music online a lot when I was younger and just go through like the rabbit holes and shit. And like I would end up listening to like a lot of like early Travis Scott, like 2012, like when he was making like the super poppy shit, and like of course like Kanye from that era and shit. Like, man, what else do I listen to? I love McConan. When I was 12, like McConan was my favorite rapper.
Look, let's take a moment to talk about the magnificent life in music career that McConan brought to the world. I have like I don't think if you want Bear type shit, you don't get it. Like,
yeah, like it was. I was okay. So at the time, everybody was like fucking with Migos or whatever the fuck. Like all the new Atlanta shit, people was fucking with Thug. I actually got called gay for liking Young Thug by one of my teammates. Is on my 6th grade football team.
Everybody loves Thug. Everybody respect him now. That shit was different when he came. Like when he popped out for the first time, he had the dress in the video with the girl. Like that was a different time.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to think of the shit I was listening to. I'm still in my formative years. I'm trying to think of the shit I was listening to in my formative years, like McConan, and then like when I got to middle school, it was a lot of Lil Peep and Tracy. Mm-hmm. And then when I got, and like Brockhampton and shit like that. And that was kind of how it was when I went into 9th grade too. And then 10th grade, I had this little period where I was like looking through all like the old Neptune's archives and like going through all that old shit, like all the old unreleased Pharrell stuff, like just really like putting myself in that era because I was 3 when In My Mind came out, so I don't know. I was trying to put myself in that era, just trying to like get that feeling like Hell Has No Fury, already platinum by Slim Thug. Like these are albums that I've studied. That's why I feel like I've studied these albums, and that's why my drums will never be weak because I study Pharrell, I study Kanye, I study Beethoven. I studied the fuck out of Mexico Dro when I was 14, 13 years old.
Yes.
Like all these producers with great with great ears for drums. And I feel like that's how I developed my ear, because I just knew what I wanted to sound like. And I knew like what sounded good, what sounded bad. Like I don't know music theory at all, but I know how to put a song together.
I feel you. That shit is really interesting because if you see over here, the legend Michael Davey, Greek, he basically he produces all of my music, and I have no idea about music theory at all. So he explains it to me sometimes. I'm like, no, you just go whoop. Like I don't get it. Like I don't understand it. It's just like you put it together. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's cool. I mean, it's just like the purest form of expression. You can't. It's hard to, I guess, like sometimes like be into music so much how you were growing up, and then figuring out a formal way to like do it. And it's like, I don't know. It helps. It definitely helps to learn it and shit. But it's like in this form, oh yeah, you just got to just do it, bro. You just got to do it.
Yeah, like I started making beats like in 2012 on FL Studio. Like I didn't want to learn how to like play piano and all that shit. I mean, I do now. Mm-hmm. I want to learn other instruments now, but like back then, I was just trying to make beats and rap over those beats. Like that was literally like the two things that I only wanted to do at the time. And make cartoons. Mm-hmm. Like those when I was a kid, those were my three favorite things. Was to make beats, was to make songs, and watch, discuss, and make my own cartoons. Like those were my three favorite childhood pastimes. And it sounded like I was like fucked up in like some type of artist boot camp, but no, I was just doing this shit freely as a kid. Like in my first time, like
that was just your hobby, like
yeah.
So I've seen photos. You are 6'3", right?
Yes. 6'3".
Tell us about your football career. Because people don't understand, Chloe Hotline also could have been the best football player of all time if she wanted to be.
Look,
she just chose to be a musician.
Yeah, I could have. Ooh, man. All right, so let me just be okay. So I started playing football when I was like 7, like first grade. Then I stopped for a year. Then I started again, and then from ages 9 all the way up until 17, I was like playing football. Like
wow.
And I was like last year, like almost like Cynthia, like I used to like come home from like my last project, I used to come home from like weightlifting and work on that album. Like, mm-hmm. Like I used to come home from conditioning and just be like, okay, I know I'm tired, but I gotta like work on this music. I played defensive end. I played defensive tackle later in my football career, and I didn't like it to begin with. I was just doing it because I had to. Mm-hmm. But like I was just doing it because I had to. Like I just get it over with, and I would have to go to these like obnoxious ass like football camps where all these kids were like tryhards. Like it really just wasn't my thing. Like I would just be at those camps like, yo, like somebody wants this spot way more than me. Give that spot to this kid. Like I was like, if I could have moved on my own accord, like man, I wouldn't even play. But I mean, it kept me healthy and in shape. Taught me how to work out properly, so that's cool. My brother, he actually he plays for the University of Cincinnati.
Oh shit!
So
that's fine.
Yeah, like
okay, the athletic family.
So yeah, he's actually fire. He's actually fire. Like they're about to fuck shit up this season. So my brother, he was more, he was more invested in it than I was. And every time in the locker room, they'd be like, if you don't love the game, leave. I was like this close to walking out. Like I was just not, that just wasn't for me. And when I did senior night for the team, or whatever, and we walked by, and we like all the seniors walked by and got their flowers or whatever, and it was like, oh, and then we have her, like my name, like, oh, we have here, and it's like their plans are to forego college and become an international pop star, because that's what I wrote down. Like people like, and everybody in the crowd was looking confused, like, oh, okay.
Like what?
Okay, but yeah, that's just,
do you think that moment is recorded?
Is that moment recorded? Probably.
You gotta get that for the intro of the album or some shit like that. That sounds like that must have been crazy for real. Like, hell yeah.
I feel like the bigger I get, like people are gonna start leaking. They're gonna start leaking my highlights. Like,
So, are you more scared about your highlights, your huddle highlights, or your KTT profile?
I'm more scared about my look. I'll be on KTT like how I'll be on Twitter. So like I'm more scared about my huddle highlights getting out. Like I don't like that side of me. Like yeah, it's cool, but like that's just for the story. Like that's just for the story. Like I am a musician. I am a creator. I am a designer. Like that's what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a writer. I'm a musician. I'm a graphic designer. Like that's literally what I do now.
That's real. It's crazy because like I feel like a lot of people that are amazing at their craft did something else that they knew they didn't like. Like with football with you, or like I have like a friend. I think one of like the craziest examples of this. I have a friend and he's a photographer now. He works for like High and shit. He was a fucking like he was a neurosurgeon. Got his degree, all this shit, and was just like, bro, I'm not fucking with this. And he started doing photography, and like 4 or 5 years later, boom, going nuts. Like, so it's cool to like hear about like you playing football, because I know that even though like you didn't like the game, it still instilled a competitive aspect to you that also focuses on like keeping yourself in the best shape and mentality possible.
Yeah, like I like the competitive part of it. Like they were like being competitive was always great, yeah, but one thing I didn't like about it is it was just the over aggressiveness, like the constant need to be overly aggressive, and I just be chilling, like, like I like I'm probably like one of the least aggressive people ever.
So when you was in the huddle, it was just like you was like y'all turned up right now. You just chilling, like, all right, word, like what's the play?
Yeah, I'm just there, like, yeah, like, all right, and then go line up. Like I wasn't for all the hooting and hollering. Like I like quiet success, like there's always time to celebrate. Now when my album comes out, I most definitely celebrating like crazy, because this feels like I won the NBA finals. Like right now feels like game 6 and we going into the third quarter. And Friday is gonna feel like that fucking champagne rain. Like this. And it's crazy because, like, if you were to talk to me a year ago about my music, I wouldn't even be half as confident. Like, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's good. Like, that's why I kind of just threw my last project, Cynthia, out there as a mixtape. And that surprisingly ended up, people, like, smaller blogs started picking it up. Like, I got to work with certain artists that I looked up to and shit. Like, it's like, you never really know. Like, but this time, I wanted to make sure people know that this is the big statement. This is what is gonna get eyes on me. I want people to know this is the one. And I'm gonna make it the one. I'm not gonna put out anything like a month after it or anything. Maybe a video or two, definitely a video or two. But I'm just gonna let it breathe. I'm just gonna let the people live with it. Like I'm giving you art. I'm giving you art, living, breathing art. Like this is something you can listen to Sunday from sun up to sundown, and it would fit perfectly with your day. Like this is one of those ones.
You scoring someone's life.
That definitely.
Yeah.
When I was like, I sacrificed the typical teenage social life to make music. Like I literally have I have Malik, that's my brother, that's my best friend. Like, and like I'm affiliated with his people or whatever. Like those are like acquaintances, friends. Like I really honed in on this. Like I didn't like that high school party and shit. Like I didn't care. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't care. Like I didn't care who liked me. I didn't care if I was popular or anything like that. I was just focused on making really, really, really good music, and it took time, of course. But Instinct, I feel like this. I feel like this is that project. Album of the year.
Album of the year. Album of the year. Album of the year is dropping Friday.
Album of the year. I mean, you got like, oh, you're a big artist, you're Drake, but they're all kind of predictable. You never know. Chloe Hotline, I'm a fresh face to most people. When they hear the music is good, and you're like, oh damn, this is one of my favorite projects of the year. So I'm calling out me because that's how I feel, and I know that's how some people are gonna feel about it.
See, this energy, this is the energy this is the made New York energy. This is the believing 100% in yourself and not letting anybody else tell you otherwise. Because you know the truth already. You get it. You got it. It's in your head now. All you got to do is just show everybody else.
Yeah, like people were saying, like I was talking about earlier when I submitted my song to a lot of people, like, oh, this song Michigan is underproduced. The ambition is there, but okay, the ambition is there, but that's not all that I have though. You're going off one song. You listen to the whole album, you will get it. Like if you get a song, a couple more spins, you'll even get it. Like there's always time for you to understand art more. A lot of people dismiss a lot of music after they hear it for the first time and never go back to it. You know, there's always time to live with art. And if it doesn't end up growing on you, okay, that's fine. It's trash to you, but to me, it's the greatest thing I've done in my life. This is my greatest achievement. This shit got me wanting to apply for the Genius Grant and showing them the music and all my patents and all my ideas. Like I was talking to my sister. She was the only Black woman to graduate from her engineering program. I was talking to my sister like, yo, like I think I'm gonna apply for the Genius Grant, and we were going into like the different qualifications and things for it. Like I feel like I need to do a little bit more. I need to be more experienced. And I need to be just a little bit older before I decide to actually apply for the Genius Grant. That's something I plan on doing when I'm 24 or 25, you know, like when I have more done, when everything is more set in stone. Like this is the foundation right now. All of this is the foundation. But once I build it up,
explain to people what the Genius Grant is.
Okay, the Genius Grant is pretty much where they it's actually it's an award. Well, it's a grant. Okay. It's an award. It's called the MacArthur Fellowship Award, and also known as the Genius Grant. And the overall idea is just funding ideas. You know, that's where it comes from. Funding ideas and funding research. So, and outside of music, outside of culture, like I have a lot of ideas, like more efficient ways to heat homes, or more efficient space heaters, because you know, like radiation and things like that, and sometimes they'll set fire when they come on. Or so I'm just going into every avenue of my life, everything that, you know, I thought, oh, like this building looks a certain way, or oh, it's too hot in this building, or it's too cold in this building. Like literally every aspect of life, I'm trying to attack with my creativity, you know, like every single aspect. And I know a lot of people hopefully can see the vision that I have because I do. I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will get on me for being like overly ambitious sometimes. I'm like, yo, like you don't believe in yourself? Like,
yeah, you know what it is? You're a Kanye fan. It's like you can't be a true Kanye fan and grow up not thinking that you are the best person that you could possibly, like, that you are the god. Like it's about like it's the quote that I love so much. He said, "Everybody tell you to be humble. Whoever tells you to be great." You know what I mean? It's like you being great. You gotta fuck no.
Yeah, like, I'm like I do be like getting scared sometimes. Like, damn, people are gonna be like, oh shit, people are gonna be like I'm an asshole, or people gonna think I'm too cocky. But I feel like all the work I put in those 10,000 hours probably 3 times over. I'm about to put it in 5 times more. You know, whatever it is until I can get to the position. I want to be comfortable in life. Like, I don't ask for much. I just want a stable environment and somewhere where I can create. You know, I know that can happen, and that's definitely the first goal on my list of big goals. You know.
Mm-hmm. It sounds funny, man. It's like, yo, like, I don't know. This reminds me of an old Tyler interview. It does. This is it. Like, it's like, yo, it's like everything's in cycles. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, bro, I believe in everything that you're doing. For real. Because it's like, what right now you want to, you're basically merging your reality with reality through creation. You know what I mean? If you want to innovate, you want to change some shit, you do it by creating. And it's like, you're gonna be one of those really good shapeshifters. I mean, not shapeshifters, like, you know, just people that shape the culture. You know what I mean?
And like, and people will always be like people always say I'm too ambitious. People always say you need to slow down, or the idea is half baked, or da 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 da. All that shit gets formulated into big ideas when you start working on it every single day. Like right now, I'm working on music every single day. And that's my number one thing. These energy solutions that I have and other things like that, right now, those are hobbies. But once the music is really successful, I can take a pause on that and go work on, you know, more humanitarian type things, or helping other artists, you know, with getting them a label situation or whatever that may be. It's never bad to multitask. Just make sure you're being productive while you're doing it. You know, a lot of people will multitask and be paying attention to the most obvious things. When you multitask, you have to pay attention to, like, you're focusing on one thing, every single detail. And it might be straining, and it might take a while for you to get a hang of it. But once you can, like, the world is yours. Like, you can do anything.
It's like cooking. You know, you got a couple pots on. You got to balance everything. If you do it right, you can have a nice meal. But, you know, certain people just be wanting to cook some rice all damn day. It's like, we got to add some flavor to this shit.
Yeah, cooking is another one of my favorite pastimes or hobbies. That's just because I'm a creative motherfucker. Like, I just like to make shit. Like,
yeah, so it's cool making something you can eat. That shit crazy, right? You love making. It's like, oh, I can make something I can eat. That shit fine. So cooking with Chloe, that's coming soon?
Okay, so I shot like the pilot episode for it, but I lost the footage when I got
locked. Wait. I just threw that name out. Run it back. So is that a dead ass shot?
Yeah, like I shot the pilot episode back during the summertime, but I ended up losing the footage. It was really good too. Like I was cooking tofu and like roasted vegetables. It was really good.
So you're vegetarian. That's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, like that shit is just like I literally be exploding with ideas all the time. Like, and I feel like people are getting like, "Oh, you're gonna burn out one day." Like what type of? Why would you say that to a young creator? Oh, you're gonna burn out one day. Because
they jealous of your ambition and fire. They wish they had that fun.
A lot of people who are mid-20s, early 30s will be like, "Oh, yeah, you better be glad you're young now. These are your prime years for creativity." I'm like, wait, just because your life is over doesn't mean you can find it. I'm just getting started right here, you know? Like,
oh yeah, everybody has a different, you know, path. That shit is crazy. Yeah. I hate when people fucking say that shit. Like, dude, fuck you, man. I don't know. I like the ambition though, because anytime I hear somebody talking like this, that shit happen. You don't hear motherfuckers talking like this and then the shit don't happen. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. So like, other than, so you got the clothing brand, So talk about, well, talk a little bit more about that and where you've been going with that.
So the clothing brand, Counterfeit Industries, I founded it when I was 15, but I just had the overall idea. I just had the name. I didn't really have any like, you know, true like backing ideas behind it. But as time has gone on, like I've found meaning within the brand. I found influence. Like the whole reason I called it Counterfeit Industries is because every creative starts off biting their influences. You know, like every creative starts off being like a knockoff somebody, but we also elevate, and that's what the industry's part, you know, encapsulates. We always elevate. We always become something bigger. So yeah, Counterfeit, we start off like as a knockoff pretty much, but then we always blossom and grow to be something way bigger, way crazier, and turn out to be far more original than anybody would have thought with the original idea. And a lot of people were like, why is this spelling like that? Nigga, it's supposed to be spelled like a knockoff. It's supposed to be spelled like it's knockoff.
So,
of course,
tell the people how it's spelled, like how you stylize it.
COUNERFIT, counterfeit, like counterfeit, not counterfeit, counterfeit. And I feel like that's just another layer of like, I mean, like that's another like nice little wordplay, another layer of that shit. And like we haven't. I'm not gonna cap. Like we've done 4 drops, and we haven't really put our foot down as like a Cincinnati like brand or anything like that, or even the streetwear brand. Because like we were trying to do too much too early, and I ended up like nah. Like people were like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, oh, you know, people got weird about it. And also, what I didn't know, like, I was so when Counterfeit first started and we were getting samples, like, I wasn't even like focused on what type of like shirt it was printed on. I was just focused on getting an idea. So, like, the first Counterfeit shit was on these really like shitty soft style, like stretchy t-shirts. And like, I know that shit is gonna be like worth money. Like, oh, this is a original piece, but that shit was ass. Like recently I've been like going into research about blanks and stuff, and I've been like buying more from brands so I could get a feel for like what they do. Like this Counterfeit Industry shirt that I have on right now. This Counterfeit Industry shirt that I have right now, this is Gucci, man. We distorted his face a little bit.
This shit hard. You ain't get all over the camera. That shit hard as a bitch. Well, you know what? Actually, what's your website? What's your website?
These shirts are not up right now, but the NSTYNCT merch is up right now. It's counterfeit.us. Yeah, like I'm trying to like, so I just got this sample in. Like I designed the shirt, I just got this sample. So, and I came to realize like this shirt feels like the golf t-shirt that I have. So when it comes to quality, like it's not gonna be like, you know, people are always scared. Oh, like this is the same quality as my green golf t-shirt I have. Like I'm fine. Like I know I'm fine just starting off, and we've been building more of a brand identity, you know, with the being inspired by like Russian streetwear and like the whole Russian characters and shit. And actually, one of my goals is to have a flagship store in Moscow one of these days. I want to have three flagship locations for counterfeit stores. I want to have one in Cincinnati, of course. I want to have one in Detroit because that's where all my cousins are from. That's where my dad is from. I want to have one in Moscow because our brand is super inspired by Russian culture and inspired by the looks, you know, of people in the more metropolis Russian areas, you know. So
you talk about like Gosha Rupachinsky and like shit like that growing up. Gotcha.
Yeah, like in that, to contrast that, when I started listening to Tyler and Travis Scott, that's what really got me into clothes. Like there was always bars about Supreme, and then like one Christmas I asked for like a Supreme like a Supreme 5 panel. That shit was like hella expensive. My parents were like, no. And then like I know Ben Trill was like a corny, like hokey thing, but I was 10 at the time. I thought Ben Trill was fire.
Ben Trill won't corny. It just like in the beginning, Ben Trill, don't let nobody lie to you. Niggas was acting like thoughts over Ben Trill. Like they were like, bro, when it came to like the NASCAR shirt, the Hood by Air shirt, all the Travis long sleeves, like, yo, that was a movement. Those were, I mean, like, you think about that DJ team, it's Benji B, right? Virgil, Matthew Williams, and I guess JJ Jown. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy how they all grew for that from that. Like that's that 2010 to like 2015 era of streetwear. That's what I came up in. That's what I grew up looking at. Oh, I want this. Like, oh, so of course I'm gonna be inspired by that, but not too much to where it's like this shirt looks dated, you know? Like it'll always be more subtle. But yeah, this brand, this is really my baby. Like I love like just making some shit and then you get it and then you look at it and you're like, oh, I made this. Like that is the best feeling in the world, especially outside of music. That is the best feeling in the world, to get a sample in the mail and be like I was so excited yesterday when I got, there's another shirt, I don't know where it's at right now, but there's another shirt. It's a brown shirt. It's a brown shirt that we did. And like just the excitement of opening it, I was like, holy shit. But yeah. These we're actually gonna be doing a little like spring break type collection. So this shirt is gonna be up probably middle of March. The brown shirt is gonna be up and another shirt. So 3 shirts. Hats, I don't know. We were thinking about maybe doing a trucker or a snapback. Really, I'm really like I've been super interested in fitteds, but fitteds are so fucking expensive to get made. Like to be selling. Like I really want to do like a run of fitteds, but damn, I don't have the money right now.
This is the thing that you should do, right? If you do fitteds, you probably should do them on like a Cincinnati hat or some shit. Like buy Cincinnati hats, but buy one in the beginning, do your sample or whatever, embroider however you want to, and then from there make to order everything, so you don't have to actually pay anything up front.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's a way out. That's a way around it where you can get the vision out, have the perfect execution, and people can get it without you having to damn burn your pockets up. I've been exactly where you at, brother, for real.
Yeah, like this, like it's all a learning process, and I'm glad I get to do all of this at this age. So, like, if I were to springboard to it when I'm like 25, I would know, like, I'll know, like, oh shit, not to do this, not to do that. I really want, like, one of my goals is to have my own shoe. Like, I want my own silhouette so bad, like. Mm-hmm. That's really one of my. If the day I get my own shoe, like the day I get my own shoe, I will be the happiest person on this planet. Like, so I'm starting to teach myself about that a little bit more, like how to send like designs over to these factories and overseas and shit. Like, but the day I have my own shoe, I might cry. Like.
I might have a full size run. I'm gonna need that for real for the Chloe ones. The Chloe ones go stupid.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the brand. Eventually there's gonna be 2 divisions of it. So we're gonna have Counterfeit Industries, which will be more of the street brand focused stuff, and then we're gonna have C2W, which is Counterfeit Worldwide, which is gonna be the more like golf LaFleur, like sweaters and pea coats and jeans and more cut and sew type of stuff. Yeah. Also the C2W shit will be printed on like the really heavy streetwear, like the real heavy blanks, like the real heavy t-shirt blanks and shit. Like that's just luxury. But I'm not at a point where I can give people luxury yet. So
but you getting that, you're doing the right format. You're not doing it the other way around, doing the like, you know, you got it. because I mean, like when it comes to making a brand, bro, it's all about pacing yourself. You know, if you come out the gate and you just spent your whole entire bank account trying to get this goddamn perfect hoodie and the embroidery's hitting all that shit, and you can't upkeep that, you got to start somewhere where you can, you know what I mean, grow. It reflects just on the music. The music gonna start one place, and then 10 years later, you're gonna be like, holy shit. Like, so just keep doing that and everything you're doing. And before we get out of here, is there any, before we leave, give your final statement, because I don't even need to tell you what to say. You already know what to say. So what's your spiel?
Yeah. So NSTYNCT, February 26th, that's when everything changes. Y'all are gonna get sick of seeing Chloe Hotline all around on the internet. And if whenever Real Life open back up, I'm gonna try to do a show every week. Like, y'all are gonna get sick of me. I'm gonna make sure y'all get sick of me. I'm gonna make sure people understand my ideas. I'm gonna let the album breathe. I don't give y'all time. Give everybody time to digest it. And summertime, I'm coming too. So this whole year, I'm just trying to have this shit on lock. I'm producing a tape. I'm producing Malik. I'm producing this whole tape. A few other artists. We're doing like little 5-track EPs where I'm sitting back and playing more of a production role because I love to produce. I love to produce, and when I can't get the idea, I can just send it to another artist and they can get it. Counterfeit Industries, the store. We will have new items starting. We'll have new items on the site on March 12th. 3 shirts, nothing too crazy. Maybe a trucker or a snapback or 2, but right now we're just making sure y'all get the brand identity on the shirts, more like word mark type logos. This Gucci shirt, this is the only one that has the logo a little bit smaller, but all the other shit is more word mark or more slogan based. Yeah, NSTYNCT is album of the year. Oh my god. When y'all hear this, y'all will know like ain't nobody fucking Chloe Hotline. Also, yeah, NSTYNCT is coming out on Friday like that.
It's time.
This might come out after, but still, if you haven't heard it, go listen to it right now because I'm telling you, it's the best damn thing to come out this year. And I ain't spent 6 months working on it for it to go unnoticed. I'm gonna put it in people's face. I might even get YouTube ads. I'm trying to go all out.
Because you know what it is. You know what it is. You need the cameras on you. You know you about to hit the shot. You in third quarter. You going in third quarter right now. We about to be in the fourth. So it's time to strap up and get to it. Well, there you have it, folks. Chloe Hotline, creative genius, legend, everything under the sun in one. This is Christopher Chance. Leaving this interview, I was already sold on Chloe Hotline, but I know y'all are all sold now. So that's what I wanted from this. So thank you for, blessing us with the presence. And oh yeah.
Thank you for having me on your platform.
Of course. Of course. So, we'll definitely have you back up on here. We're gonna do some like right now I'm gonna interview people individually, but then I'm gonna start mixing you all, bring y'all all on different, talks and shit. So yeah, it's gonna be cool, but y'all prepare yourself. Like you said, they're gonna get sick of you.
Also, made in the URL, that shit is gonna be. I'm waiting for that shirt, goddammit. I'm waiting for that shirt to drop.
No, you already know. Hell yeah.
I've seen the preview of the site. That shit is super hard.
We get off some shit. But we doing something, but like I said, everybody, thank y'all for listening. NSYNCT is out Friday. Please, y'all, listen to the album of the year. There's nothing else you need to be doing Friday. So, yes, sir. We out of here. Thank y'all. Peace. See y'all in the next one.